in a county many, many years ago. No, I won't go on with that. But there was a time when students and teachers stood on the shoulders of giants, a time when a group of enthusiastic amateurs in Northamptonshire did something the combined minds of the USA could not. Because 50 years ago, students and teachers from Kettering Grammar School discovered a new launch site in deepest Russia. It's a discovery that will be remembered at the National Space Centre in Leicester in March. Kevin Yates is from the centre and joins me on the line now. So, Kevin, how did a group of ordinary people with what you might describe as bog-standard equipment discover something which governments in the West had somehow missed?
Well, it's basically the enthusiasm of two teachers at Kettering Grammar School back in the 60s. You've got Derek Slater, head of chemistry, and George Perry, who was a physics teacher there, who led the group. And they were fascinated by Sputnik being launched, as most people were around the world at that time, and ended up setting up, like you say, a group of equipment, not all of it quite bog standard. There were one or two pristine sort of specialist pieces, but most of it was fairly make-do-amend approach. And they were tracking these satellites. Eventually the students got involved as well. And it was 17th of March, 66, so 50 years this March, when they actually sort of caught the launch of the Cosmos 112 satellite. And Jeff, who was a very clever man, worked out that it couldn't have launched from the known sites in Russia, and eventually he actually published that in April in the Flight International magazine, and but it became sort of international news. Eventually the group was recognised by NASA, who did know about it. The CIA sort of were keeping this out of a report. They were saying it was secret information and wouldn't allow the US Library of Congress to put it in a report to the Senate. So in the end, Dr. Sheldon, who was writing that report, actually tipped them off to Jeff Perry's article in the magazine.
So how did this National Space Centre come to be involved?
Well, it was a few years back now, 2011. I was contacted by Derek Slater, who sadly passed last year. And he told me this story and invited me over to his house to look at the equipment. And he was basically probably recognising that he was coming towards the end of his life, and he didn't want it just to end up in a skip or gathering dust somewhere. And he asked us if we would take it on and look after it. And I told him I'd do what I could to be able to try and put it on display. And we tried to get funding for a display, and we couldn't. In the end, we just thought it was too good a story to not be told. So we managed to find some of our own money and put an exhibition together. So
tell me about the exhibition. This is a very special event you're holding, really, isn't it?
Yes, that's it. It is more, because it's a fairly small exhibition itself, the display, but of the equipment, but a fascinating story to read. But we're having a whole day when we celebrate this achievement, because this whole year there were various things happened 50 years ago this year that were significant to that group, the Kettering Satellite Tracking Group's existence. And we're going to have various people from the group, including the wife of Derek Slater, Mary Slater will be there, and the daughter of Jeff Perry, Isabel Carmichael. They're all coming along, and several people from, I think it's up to about 22 now from the original group are going to be there, students who were tracking these satellites at the time. And we're going to have Professor Sir Martin Sweeting is going to be our guest speaker, and then we're going to have an interview panel with the various key players at the time.
And schools in Kettering can apply for tickets. Kevin,
yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, we want to, obviously this is a story really about education and the enthusiasm of teachers, so we want to offer free tickets. It's for the first 300 students and teachers from Kettering schools that haven't been to us before. We thought it'd be nice, those that haven't been, for them to have an opportunity. And yeah, we're offering those tickets free of charge. It's entry into the centre, and we'll have a special place for the teachers to pick, I think it's about four of their, it's all the details are online, but about four of their students to join us for the actual main event. And we'll have a cutting of a cake that's going to be made, and unveiling of the exhibition, and I think they'll have a great day.
Wish you well, Fred. Kevin, thank you for telling us all about it. Kevin Yates from the National Space Centre in Leicester. And if you are a Kettering school, or you go to a Kettering school and you'd like to apply for those tickets, 0116 258 2111 is the number. I'll give you that again in a second. Online, bookings@spacecentre.co.uk. So the phone number again, 0116 258 2111, or bookings@spacecentre.co.uk.
BBC Radio Northampton.
This morning's news headlines at 11 minutes to 8. New